Welcome everyone to another episode of the JSB GamesCast. I'm your host Rob, aka Zen. Joining me today, we have Lewis. How are you, sir?
Hungry.
I see. You've been munching for the last couple of minutes.
I tried to finish it. I am starving. I haven't eaten anything all day. But yeah, I'm here after like I don't know 2 weeks absence or something. I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Ready to talk about some games?
Hell yeah. Let's talk about it. Drew, you are also here. I understand you are currently in a tournament at the moment.
Yes, I am here, and I am ever grinding in a tournament, but that's okay because we can multitask around these parts.
Hell yeah, we can. Ryan is out. He is currently sick, so let us all wish him well.
Yes.
Hopefully he is back next week. I myself am battling a little bit of a cold. I was kind of talking to you guys a little earlier about it. Today has just kind of been a long day. On top of that, just some quick like housekeeping notes. Today we did, as of Sunday, so when you guys listen to this, the archives will be up, but we did start our anime podcast as of today. It is a live video cast that will go up every other Sunday. So if you guys want to be alerted for when the next time that we go live, you can follow the JSB Anime Twitter account, which is literally just JSB Anime. That show is led by Asher, frequent podcast host. The ghost host. And it features myself and another friend, Jenny, as we talk about the anime that we are watching. This first episode was really just about introductions. It's actually the first time I ever met Jenny. That's actually one of Asher's friends. So it was a pretty good discussion on just our history with anime, like how did we get into it, as well as like some of our top 4 picks and some other shenanigans. It was a pretty good show. It's going to go up on our JSB YouTube account, JaxSavageBase on YouTube, as well as podcast services on Mondays. So you'll get that in audio form and video form. So please look out for that.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. So without further ado, let's get into some video games. A lot has happened. In the past 2 weeks, we got a Nintendo Direct. We have the Steam Next Fest Demo festivities. Me and Drew was in Chicago for Frosty Faustings. There's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that did happen.
You know, time is escaping us. But you know that just means we got a lot of video games and a lot of video game time. Lewis, you have been playing one specific game. You've played a lot of One Piece Odyssey. I dare say to completion.
Yes.
How was it?
That was a good game, man. I'm just again don't really have anything too bad to say about my experience with it. I think that was like the perfect RPG I needed, just kind of right at the time where I'm just super busy because of work and life stuff. And so the idea of going through a like 90-hour 100-hour RPG right now is kind of like daunting. And One Piece turned out like I finished it like around 50 hours, maybe 50-ish, and it was kind of like the perfect pace because I played it like as I would generally at night, right? It's like right before I would go to bed, I'd just boot up my Steam Deck and I would just play while I was laying down, and I was able to beat that. And when did it drop?
January 18th, I think. Like
January 18th. Yeah. So I was able to get it done in like under a month.
Yeah. I'm very surprised it turned out to actually be 40-50 hours because that first like Alabasta section is lengthy.
Yes.
Like I feel like I'm already at the 12-hour mark, I think, in that area. So hearing that just means like the rest of the game is pretty tight. But
yeah,
we talked about it a little bit before, where it's kind of like it feels like that beginning section is kind of padded out just due to tutorials and just lengthy cutscenes and stuff like that. So I feel like once all that setup is done, I guess it just kind of moves at the
Yeah.
pace.
It seems like once you push past Alabasta, and like like you said, I very much feel that it is as long as it is, because they're still introducing mechanics. They're introducing the link up attacks, and the memory phrase stuff. So they want to, I guess they want to definitely make sure, like, okay, well, this is everything you can expect with the game, and they just kind of want to get that out the way. So I can understand why it feels like out of all of the Memoria sections in the game, that one definitely seemed like it was the longest. But once I got into the other parts, it feels a lot more just kind of straightforward. When you get to the other sections of the game, because eventually, once you get back from Alabasta, the game follows a pretty like structured formula. Is like, okay, do a memory section, you go back to Wayford, Audio and Lim talk to you about some stuff, you go do a ruin, you fight a Colossi, and then you go back to Memoria. Yeah, and you do that for most of the game. Once you knock out like all the Colossi, they push you into some more story that's like strictly Wayford section, and then they even do a really cool thing towards the end of the game where they kind of make you backtrack in some of the other areas to look for just kind of history on Wayford to help just kind of navigate that island, like what's the whole deal with this island. But so I feel like it was really just kind of streamlined there towards the end. It was nice. I didn't feel like anything was too rushed. I feel like it was like the perfect amount of like content there. Nice. So it was really fun, man. And I still echo, like, it's just like watching a One Piece movie. I would say, like, I would watch a One Piece Odyssey movie. Because remember how when we went to see One Piece Film Red, and that shit kind of dragged toward, like, the midsection where before they even introduced that whole pop musica, like, overall arching baddie, they were still going on with everything on with Uta, and like I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? You know what I'm saying? Like, this game avoided that pitfall very much, and so I think a lot of people will appreciate that. So you won't feel like, God, like, well, okay, what's going on here? They gave some more context on like what's going on with Lim and like why she's able to do the things she's able to do, like why she's able to take people's powers. They give a lot of background why she doesn't trust pirates. They gave a lot of background on Audio, who's like, he was really like, he had a lot of history with Smoker, which kind of, I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that at all. Yeah, he had a big history with Smoker. They go into his life before he was on the island. And so by the time I got to the end of the game, I was very much satisfied with everybody's story arcs. If it was one thing, I wish they would have gave you access to Brook a little earlier, because you will not get that man until I feel like it's way over the halfway point. Dang. And I was like, bro, like, let me get my man's body back. Like, why is it taking this long? Like, you literally have like everybody else, like Frankie joins you a little bit after Water 7, and then you're just with Frankie for the longest time, and I'm like, God, I'm like, where the fuck is Brook? Like, where the what? Like, please, I need to play this man. But I kind of see why they give him to you so late. He has this skill called New World. And it essentially it gives everybody an attack buff, and so like I really like, and I was, it's the funniest thing is like before we started recording, I was in the bathroom taking a piss, and I was taking a particularly long one, and while I'm using the bathroom, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, God, I was like, I really like how they did the combat in Odyssey, because so like my strategy was like, once you go into more sections of like Memoria and you unlock other more memories and you complete those areas, they give you the ability to upgrade like people's like little like unique skills. So like how Sanji can cook, Robin can upgrade your accessories. And Usopp can make the trick balls. So as you play the game, you'll unlock the ability to upgrade those. And by the time you get Sanji's cook skill up to level 3, it is I really like how the food for my playthrough, food was like a huge thing because you get some really nasty recipes with him. He cooks this one dish that it buffs a singular person's attack for like you get a 30% attack buff, and then it also guarantees that your next attack is a crit.
Jesus.
So Christ. Like, yeah. So what I would do, and that shit stacks. That shit stacks. So I would cook like 10 or 20 of that dish, and then I would get Brook in my party. I would cast New World, and I would have Luffy go gear second, and then I would have like 2 more people use that dish on Luffy. And by the by the time you get to the end of the game and you have like Gear 4 Snake Man, he has that attack King Cobra. That shit would nuke any boss. Like it would, and like most people would be like, man, that doesn't sound fun, but to me it was the setup for it that I just really enjoyed. So like, I mean,
I appreciate a good setup to like some shit, you know?
Oh yeah,
like some multi-step, like, okay, I'm gonna combine this and this and this on top of this. Yes. Like it's almost like doing like science, right?
Yeah. I was like, how can I one shot this boss? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so like I would get to the point where I'm like, God, I feel like I can squeeze more damage out of this, you know? So like it was really, I just really loved going into that whole setup, and then just Luffy doing King Cobra and just fucking nuking these bosses. I was like, this shit is sick. And it's really cool that they, that you don't have to play it like, you don't have to go through the battles like that, but I felt like there was enough freedom there for me to just kind of just do what I wanted. I wasn't like gate kept, because even then it got to the point where like you start getting accessories that help people with their weakness. So as far as like you have your power characters who are weak to technique, right? You can find rings and stuff that have like technique resistance, and then you can use Robin's ability to like fill those empty slots in on the accessories to you could build some crazy shit. You could build some absolutely crazy shit. You start getting some really sick accessories, like again towards like the late game, that'll like boost up your TP rate. You have some that'll just automatically give you TP on an attack. So like my Luffy would like, whenever I essentially just had it to the point where like, okay, if I started running low on TP, I could have Luffy attack and he would get like triple the TP back, and it'll just instantly fill my shit back up.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah, so like it's
you get some TP at this point.
Yeah, that's it. So I would build my TP up, and then I could just go ham with special attacks. And then when I got low, if a fight ever dragged out that long, I would just have Luffy do a normal attack. He ready to go again, and then vice versa. I had Nami set with a TP recharge on just everything she did. So even when she did like special attacks, she would get TP back. So I would do like Mirage tempo, get everybody up so they get that shroud. So they if they get attacked, it will whiff. And I just had her doing that the whole fight, and it's just shit like that. I was had so much fucking fun with that combat system. I did not think it was gonna go that hard, and I had a fucking blast with it.
That's sick. I really, really enjoy that combat system. Even like I'm not nearly as far as you, right? But just like it's such well thought out mechanics for that whole thing, and it's something that I just would not have expected out of a One Piece game or like an RPG out of Namco Bandai. To be honest,
bruh, yes. Even the team up attacks, like once you start getting more of them, some of them will damage specific type of devil fruit users. So like so like it's again the depth is there. Like it is crazy, because I started reading them, and you even get to the point where they have like team up attacks with like 4 people. And I was like, what the fuck, But some would only work on like the Paramecia type devil fruit users or the zoning ones, and I was just like, oh my, like that's so sick that option is there, you know. I didn't use a lot of them, but there was an instance where like I was fighting I was fighting one of the Marine admirals, and I was like, oh wait a minute, I forgot he's this type, I can get like a good grip of damage. And like a lot of the times those team up attacks add like special effects onto there, so like they'll slow the enemy so they don't get as many turns. So I started seeing why they had those abilities tied to them, because a lot of those bosses, they'll get like back-to-back turns way sooner than your rotation for some reason. I mean, obviously, I guess it kind of makes sense. It's a boss, but
clearly, like those abilities are there for the counterplay, right?
Right, exactly. It's like, how do you mitigate that? And I was like, oh, I get it. This is when I should be doing this. You know, so like you said, I just wasn't expecting it. I was not expecting the amount of depth to be there, and it held up the whole game. I don't know. I'm just blown away, man. Like I said, this sets the standard for anime games. If somebody decides that they want to throw out another anime game and it's an arena fighter, y'all, oh my god,
we're post arena fighter world. Like, no, we're not gonna get any more of those.
We're done. We are done. I don't want to see no other arena fighters for a minute. And the next one that does come out and it's an arena fighter, that shit better be unique as fuck. Okay, because if they can do this with a licensed anime game, make a confident JRPG, there's no reason for people to take that middle road with the arena fighter. It's not acceptable anymore in my eyes.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's like, I get everybody can't get people that are get teams that have worked on Dragon Quest, and you know, everybody can't do that, but I do think that the thought and the balls to just kind of push this genre really needs to be in it whenever we get another anime game, whatever that may be.
Right.
They gotta come correct.
That's basically it. Like, it's one of those things where, like, even as an arena fighter, right, it's just, you can feel how stale they are, or just like how copy paste they are. And it's like, even within that realm, there is ways to innovate and push like that specific genre forward in the way that like Arc System Works handled Kill la Kill, right? Like that was literally just an arena fighter version of Guilty Gear, like with RCs and everything and touching. It was insane, right?
Right.
So it's like, just take the time to like really think through like one, the IP that you're working with, and just like the genre you want to pick, and just like experiment, try something new, like you know, and as you said earlier, I think confident is like a really good word for this game. Like, you can feel like they know what they have here, you know. I mean? Like, they know they have a really good JRPG on their hands, and you can feel it when you're playing it. In a lot of the other like phone-in games, you could feel that this is just like an afterthought or like a cash grab or something like that.
Right, exactly.
So I would like to see more teams like take their time and really push this stuff forward, because there's a lot of really good IPs, you know. And Namco Bandai has all the fucking licenses, so like, make something cool, man.
Make something cool, right? Exactly. Like, stop taking that safe road, you know. Like, I'm tired of like them just being safe with these IPs, because there's so many, and the thing is, like, you know that like Namco Bandai has their hand in like a lot of anime stuff, because you'll see their names in the credits a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you guys literally have what, like, as a creative, like, you have a huge catalog to pull from, and you have developed all kinds of games, you know. So it's like, let's continue this trend. Like I said, whatever the next big anime game will be, I want this trend continued, where we're getting stuff that is just like this, pushing the envelope of the anime license games. Like, let's leave the arena fighters in the past. You know, and let's, I so wish that they do. I hope that they do another Demon Slayer game, and I hope it's not an arena fighter. I would love like a Demon Slayer action RPG. Like
It would be really cool.
Make it happen. Like,
It would.
You know what's crazy to me is like, so did CyberConnect work on the Hinanomi Chronicles?
No, actually, that was Sega. Actually,
yeah. Okay.
No,
so that had no involvement from CyberConnect at all.
As far as I'm aware, I don't believe so. I can double check real quick though, but I'm pretty sure they don't.
That's interesting because then that makes me believe, like, bro, what happened if they would make like a Demon Slayer game like in the vein of like Yakuza or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Like that would be so sick. You know, obviously, I'm not saying. Let me see Tanjiro like drop kick people.
I lied. It is CyberConnect.
It was CyberConnect. Okay,
I did lie. It is CyberConnect.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure
they were just contracted by Sega instead of Namco this time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. It's like I would love to have seen some involvement from Sega to be like, hey, like, what do y'all feel about doing like Yakuza's Demon Slayer? You know, like let's that would have been sick.
And you know what's interesting? Where it's like, have you played Hinokami Chronicles?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so the funny thing about that is like the story mode for that game has like elements of that. Of just like
really
where we're in like you're exploring like the town, for example, and there's like NPCs to talk to and stuff. There's like little in between like the big like arena fighter fights, right? There is like these smaller like almost beat 'em up sections, as it were. Where you're fighting a lot of like filler demons and stuff. And it's like you guys are like, why didn't you just commit to this more, right? Instead of like falling back on the arena fighter formula, like why didn't you just turn this into like a really good action RPG? You know, and there are things that game does in the arena fighter space that I think are cool, like the way that it handles its tag system. For sure. It's almost like the BB tag of arena fighters, where there's like active switch and stuff like that too, where like there's some cool mechanics there, but there's still like an undercurrent of like this still kind of feels the same as other games in this space. Because
Naruto did tag the assist stuff still, you know what I'm saying? And even though like Demon Slayer might have done like their own thing with it, it's like it's nothing I haven't seen before, or we haven't seen before. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like still like the way that combos are structured and stuff is still very much the same of like, okay, I'm gonna hold a direction and hit this one button a couple times. And that'll do the launcher. Like if you played any of those games, you've played this one. It just there's a couple interesting mechanics that like I wish you just went all in on like this part of it, you know?
Exactly.
Or like how they do. I get so upset when I think about like some of the boss fights in that game, because like
I saw. Oh my god, go ahead.
The one where you're in the you're against the guy that has all the drums on him, basically, right? And you're in that room, and as he's like hitting like the drums, the room is rotating. Right. So like you're on like one section, you're on the wall, right? And then you have this section of like, okay, I have to dodge the blades that are coming through, and then he hits the next drum and it flips again. And it's like, this is a really cool like set piece moment that like still feels like it's constrained by like the arena fighter formula, because it still kind of feels like kind of stiff and janky at times, or just like slow paced. But the idea is there that I'm like, if this was done by like, I don't know, like Platinum or like an action game studio, right? Like this whole segment would have been sick.
Yeah, that would be sick. That'd be sick as fuck.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, why not give this IP to like someone like that? You know?
Yes, dude. Holy fuck.
I hope that like the success of One Piece like leans into that more of just like, let's give these IPs to like maybe some other developers of other genres, them take their spin at it.
Yes. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Because it's like there's so many different ways people other companies might view or take these IPs. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even think to be like, oh yeah, let's give Platinum fucking Demon Slayer and see what they do. But it's like and that would be sick too, because like I said, I love what they did with Transformers. Like I don't know if anybody played Devastation, but like that game was sick.
Really good.
You know, people shitted on the Ninja Turtles game that they did, Mutants in Manhattan, and I thought that shit was godlike. I still love that game. You know, so it's like I said, the space is there for these IPs to have these chances taken, and I think if you just kind of, if you're thoughtful about what you want, and what studios and you know what development teams you want to work on this, like you can make a triple A quality anime game, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, but that'll be my takeaway from Odyssey, is that, you know, that makes me a bit more hopeful. That I was talking about this with a couple people yesterday, but I haven't looked at the sales numbers for the game. I'm really curious to see like where it's at right now. But I do think that there's probably going to be like a season pass or maybe some DLC for it, because I think they give you something to download when you buy like the deluxe edition, I think. And so I'm hoping that this just continues to just breathe more life into this game, because again, One Piece is still ongoing, and they have all these arcs that they could dive into, just going, you know, back in the crew's memories and what. And I don't know, man, this game is sick. Please play this game. And there's even a post game to it, so even if you don't want to finish the game immediately after you beat the last boss, there's these challenge cubes that you have to fight. There's 11 of them, and they're powered up versions of different bosses. So again, and that's just something I feel like that they would do in they had the foresight, like, okay, there might be some people who want to take this game to the next level before they set sail. And I love that you can talk to Lim and she's like, okay, are you ready to go? And it just gives you the option, like, no, I want to stay here or set sail, you know. And it is just a really, really clean way to just to wrap that game up, man. So please play it.
A note on the sales, like I don't have overall total sales, but like it did debut at like number 2 for sales.
Nice.
The week and the month that it came out, right? The only thing that sold more that period was Pokemon, obviously.
Right, of course.
So it was second to Pokemon.
That's wild.
Yeah. So
that is wild, man.
That definitely is a good number. Good number.
Yeah. And dude, I feel like it. And if any fan base can make this shit just move numbers, it's One Piece. It's absolutely One Piece fan base. So I'm curious to see, by the time we get to the end of the year, I kind of made a note on my calendar. Just to check the sales numbers by the time we get to the end of the year, because I'm really curious to see what the overall numbers are for once it closes out for like the fiscal year and whatnot. So because it's, again, this game is just a really interesting case study to me, and I'm kind of interested in just all the aspects of it. So
yes, it's very fascinating.
Yeah, it really is, man. It really is. So I think that's probably about it for me when it comes to games. I have been playing Hogwarts, but I kind of like don't want to talk about it.
I understand.
I don't know. That game is in a weird spot because the discourse over the past week has been like insane, and it's kind of been exhausting to be on the internet and try to look at anything about that game. So I feel like even though I'm playing it, I'm probably not going to talk about it, which is weird, but I don't really want to.
I definitely
maybe in a few months.
Definitely understand.
Maybe in a few months I'll talk about it, but we're not going to talk about that. So I picked up the Dead Space remake, and I'll probably be jumping into I haven't started it yet. Okay. I just got it, but I'll have that ready to go for next week's episode. So y'all look forward to that one.
That game is so sick.
I keep hearing the best shit about it, and I'm like fucking hyped.
I haven't started it either. I've seen a little bit of it, and I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and my only takeaway is that game is so fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like they did everything right as far as I know.
Right. Which is insane to me because I would talk shit about EA like all day. And I was really worried about this game before it came out, but I have not heard anything bad about it.
Nope.
At all. So I'm like I am so hyped. I'm so hyped to play that shit. Oh my bad. You know I did start Hi-Fi Rush as well. I know
Yeah.
it's been talked about by like everybody by now.
Yeah, we talked about that last podcast when it was me and Cats.
Right.
Yeah.
That game is sick. I'm not super far into it. I did beat I did beat Rekka.
Okay.
That boss fight was so sick.
It's so cool.
That boss fight was so sick, man. God, dude, like it's crazy to me that Tango put out this fucking game.
It blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, like after Ghostwire, I was not expecting anything like that, let alone like a stealth drop, because I didn't hear shit. I don't think there was any kind of press for this game at all, right? Like it's just like, hey, we do this developer conference and it's out now.
The only thing that dropped was literally the night before the title got leaked. Like someone said, hey, Tango might be dropping this game called Hi-Fi Rush. That was about it. That was literally the night before. Other than that, it was tight-lipped. Nobody knew.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Nuts. That's not, especially in this day and age, right?
Yes, where everything gets leaked.
Everything gets. They fucking developed this game underground in secret, and it only gets leaked like the day before, which I would take that as a win in the current year. You know what I'm saying? But this it's so wild, just like the concept of this game. I love that you don't have like you know how they have the beat keeper that you can turn on, right?
Yep.
So you can keep the beats for the people that need the visualization. But I love how you can just look at the background, and if you just kind of have that eye or you have the ear, you know that you could just look at the background and keep the beat. I love Chai. Like
Chai is so good.
He's so fucking corny, and it's like watching a Saturday morning cartoon. Like I don't know how to explain it.
It honestly, to me, I get like strong like Futurama vibes out of it. Yeah. Right. Like looking at Chai, I'm almost thinking about Fry. Like it is just like this lovable idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like the visuals just reminds you of just a cartoon. Like everything is moving to the beat. I listen to a podcast, Waypoint Radio, pretty weekly. And they actually had one of the developers on, I think it was the director, either the director or the producer, one of the two, on to interview him about Hi-Fi Rush. And they were talking about how they developed it, how everything is moving to the beat, right? But it didn't originally start that way. Right. And it was a case of like, they had like one thing to let you know, here's the thing that's keeping track of the beat for you. And I think that was 808, if I remember correctly. Nice. So the little cat that's floating around with pulse, and like that's your beat check, right? And then they said, like, as people were going through testing, they were like, hey, what if there was like another thing to help me like keep track of the beat? Because the testers like didn't notice like 808. So the developers were like, okay, what if we make the HUD like bounce to the beat? So then they gave it to like a different brand of testers, and then the other brand of testers like didn't notice like the HUD beating. So then they were like, what if we add like backgrounds like going to the beat as well? And it just kept passing it along and along. They kept adding more and more.
It just evolved, right?
And it just evolved naturally into like this whole world moving to the beat of the song, and just like adds to the overall atmosphere. It was really fun breakdown of him talking about how they came to that conclusion. And then in the absolute end, they're like, okay, here's a button for the metronome. If you really need it.
If you really need it, they put the metronome button there. And it's, like I said, I like that because it's like there's times in that game, because like obviously it's really cool that the enemies attack on beat as well, so But there's sometimes I would play and there'd be so much shit going on in some of those scramble fights. I'm like, oh, okay, I feel like I'm losing it. You know, I'll just hit the button real quick just to look. And I'm like, okay, I still got it. You know, so
yes.
And it's great that you're able just to toggle it on, toggle it off. It's really intuitive. It doesn't feel like an afterthought either. Like it's like, okay, some people might struggle with this, you know, but it's just, it was really, really well thought out. I love, speaking of 808, like I love how when you're in those fights that you know how they transition from like one scene to the next in the fight and there's just some random scene. Like I love the one where like 808 is doing like kung fu and then like her and Chai can sit there and hit that like it is simultaneously the sickest and most adorable shit I've ever seen. I love this fucking cat. Like I want to throw up.
So much personality. There's so much personality in that entire fucking game. I firmly believe that game is the greatest action game of all time. Like I 100% like believe that to be the case. Like just from production values to the animation to the style to the way that combos feel. Like when you start unlocking more and more of the combos, and more assists start unlocking too. So you get like the juggles and just when everything is just flowing together, it is like one of the greatest experiences I have ever had the pleasure of playing.
What's wild is like I noticed when you get the peppermint assist, when you have her come out and shoot her gun, like even that was kind of like on beat, which is kind of just like I'm like everything is fucking to the beat. I was like, this is fucking crazy. It's the craziest shit, man. It is the craziest shit. And I love how.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you get the parry yet?
No. Okay. That's the one. That's man.
I think that should be the next.
That's the one I'm looking forward to.
That should be the next stage since you just finished.
Yep. I remember you mentioning that you had got the parry, and I was like, oh, there's a fucking parry. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't wait, beat, man. I cannot fucking wait, man. And I hate that like anybody that's like playing this game exclusively on stream, I feel like they probably should try to go back and play through it without the streamer mode, because the soundtrack is like really good.
It's amazing because like in my opinion, I think both soundtracks are really good. Like both streamer mode, like the original stuff in that game is like,
oh yeah, the original music is great.
Is top tier, but then also when you get like the licensed music, it also like they pick like really strong choices for all.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree that like anybody that's playing on streamer mode should probably go back and play without it as well, because that just it's a whole
just add experience. To it. Yeah, it's a whole nother experience, man. I just can't not say anything bad about this game. It's fun, and I love the format of like the levels are like, so I try to move through like, so this is like my Sunday game is like I'll get up in the morning and I will run through a stage, and I love like they're a really solid length. I think so like the stage where you fight Rekka, it took me like an hour to get through it. Like it was just long enough, and I was like, okay, by the time I got to her and I beat her, I was like, all right, that's my hi-fi rush for today.
Yep. I feel like those stages average like that 45 minutes to an hour kind of deal. And they're big stages, but they're broken up into like smaller sections.
Right, exactly. And depending on like the level of exploration, like it might, again, I could definitely see it like pushing that hour mark, because I know I'm like looking around for everything. I'm trying to get collectibles and trying to do all this other stuff. So that does sound about right, but I think that's like the perfect size.
Yes.
Because I don't feel like, oh my god, like this is taking too long. I was just like, okay, well, I got an hour in with this game, and and again, I love that they're still introducing mechanics. I think that everything just kind of flows really well. I just can't say anything bad about this fucking game, man. Like it is nuts. This game is insane, and like if anybody does not play this shit, you are absolutely fucking up. You are
100%.
absolutely fucking up. What are you doing with your life?
Exactly. It's free on Game Pass, so if you have that service, go play it. It's also like a budget title, so like outside of that, it's $30.
$30. Yeah.
Like that is a crime. Like this is the game that should be $70.
Yeah.
You know,
and dude, like stylistically, you know how like it always trips me the fuck out when they transition from like a cutscene
to 2D animation.
To the 2D, yeah, bro, it's almost seamless, right? And I think the only reason I can tell when it happens is just like the ink look. It kind of dulls out when they're doing like the FMV style stuff. Yeah. But the transitions is damn near seamless. Like it is fucking crazy. Really, I can't even tell half the time, dude.
The only tell for me is the frame rate changes.
Okay.
Right? So like I know like the animation frame rate that they go for, and then me playing it at like 60 or 90 FPS or whatever. It's just like I see the switch and I'm like, okay, we switched over. But still, like it is very much a seamless transition.
Yeah.
You know? Yo, shout outs to Drew.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Beat his fucking demon in tournament.
Drew is battling his demons right now, y'all.
Battling.
He defeated.
Destroyed it. He defeated
his fucking demons.
Defeated his demons, bro. I'm proud of my son.
There you go.
Let's fucking
go. Let's fucking go.
But yeah, man. Hi-Fi Rush. 10 out of 10 video game. Already,
absolutely not
like high on my. This is probably my game of the year option.
Yeah, it's very much like I pretty much think it's gonna be in my contenders for game of the year, because I mean, just goddamn, dude, like I don't even know. Like I get flustered when I know I get flustered by a game like this. I'm like, this shit is hitting.
Yeah.
Like I can't even like coherently articulate what the fuck I want to say about this game, because like it's just that good, man. It's just that good. It's
amazing because like it's just that good off rip. Like the moment you hit start game, you're in it.
Yeah.
You're just in
they
it.
Start immediately, right? There's they give you some background, you're getting it. My man Chai gets the thing in his chest, he get the MP3 player in his chest, and it's like, bro, here we go.
The whole fucking iPod in his chest.
Yeah, man, like it's so, oh my god, dude. I love that attack string. He has that one attack string where you knock him up in the air, or it's an air route.
Yeah.
But then I think it's like the XXYY, but it's the one that shoots that big beam like straight downward. Like that shit, like that's probably like one of my favorite attacks. And I love once you get like access to like the power attacks, where you have to kind of match the tempo, like right at the end, it shows the ring and you have to like you have to hit the button in time.
It's like the finishers.
Yeah, dude. He has that one where he just fucking swings that fucking guitar wrench thing like a fucking baseball bat, and I don't know, I just fucking cream every time I do it. It's so satisfying, man. And anybody that's in doubt, this shit has like combat wise, it has the tells of like the greats. So you have like delayed strings where like you could hit the button, you have to pause, the game will actually do like a little clap noise, and it even, the text says rest, like it'll even come up, it'll say rest, and then you hit the button and it'll give you a completely different string as opposed to you just doing like XXXX or XXXY. Like it's got that kind of shit, so it's real. Okay. It's fucking real. Okay, you got different attacks based out of you, like if you come out of your dash and do it, like it's got fucking everything.
Did you notice that when you so it has like the combo grade system that you would find in like a Devil May Cry or a Bayonetta or whatever. Right. When you get up to S rank, do you notice that the guitar actually changes to a real guitar?
It changes to a fucking real guitar. Yes, it's no longer so fucking junk. And at first I thought I
the cheers.
Yeah, I thought I was like, wait a minute. I was like, when did he get the guitar? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, like, and then I noticed, I'm like, oh shit, I'm at S rank. That it changes. Like, that's so sick. That's so sick. It's the little shit like that really just that just makes this fucking game. I don't know. Play this fucking game, you idiots, please.
That's it. Play the fucking games, you idiot.
Play the game.
Oh.
But other than that, besides Hi-Fi Rush and Odyssey, that's all I got. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass the baton to you.
Yeah.
What you been playing?
So I've also been playing this game called Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh,
but
what a coincidence!
What a coincidence! Yeah, I'm honestly I'm only like on stage 3, so I'm not super far into it. Like,
Right.
But I mean, we just went over it for the past 30 minutes, so I don't need to retread that ground.
Exactly.
I finished A Space for the Unbound. So I talked about this game a little bit last week.
You did.
And it's very hard to talk about that game without giving away what that game is. So I won't harp on it for too long or go super, super deep into it. But I will say that...
Did you cry?
Yes, really bad.
Okay.
And I cry thinking about like the implications of everything. It is a game that on its surface is not what it appears to be.
Oh Lord.
It's like you're playing as this character named Atma, who to briefly summarize like the prologue of it, right? You play as Atma. You're with your friend Nirmala, who's going through like a writer's block, right? She is very much she's trying to become a writer, and Atma is there to help her out. He is also somewhat of a creative person. They're just kind of like collaborating on this story. So she tells Atma, "Hey, go get this red book from our base, from our secret base, and do a space dive and help me unlock some creative juices." So you get this red book, and basically what the book does is it allows you to jump into people's minds, similar to like a Psychonaut style kind of thing. Okay. And you basically assist them with like whatever problem that they're having. It kind of helps them unlock their brain, right? So like you do a quick little puzzle here, and then Normala's like, "Oh, I got it. This is going to be a great idea." And you're like, okay, that kind of sets the stage for like the mechanics of the game, right?
Right. Okay.
So you finish the prologue, and Atma kind of like wakes up from this dream-like state. He's in school, and he's sitting behind his girlfriend, Rhea. And Rhea is basically she is like the number one student, right? She is like the favorite. She has like her career, or one of the teachers gives her like the career form, basically, right? Where it's like, hey, what do you want to do with your life? Like fill out this application kind of thing. And you could tell like she doesn't really know. Right, like she's in this state of like, I don't really want to do this. I just want to kind of like spend time, like Atma, let's go do some stuff, right? Let's create this bucket list of items and like let's just hang out, right? And it feels like it's very much this like coming of age kind of story of just like, hey, let's kind of find ourselves. And that's basically what you're doing, right? You're walking around this town. It's set in Indonesia, 90s Indonesia, I should point out, which is a very interesting look into like that culture, right? Because they very much reference like what it's like to live in that time period in that area. They talk about like the food that they're eating. It's a really cool like look into like another culture that we're not particularly like. We don't ever really see much of.
We don't see a lot. Yeah, exactly.
So it's fascinating from that front. And you're doing like little tasks. Like one of the bucket list items is like Atma wants to collect all of these special bottle caps, right? All these soda bottle caps. So you find them all over the place in between each chapter. And he has like a little quip about each one of them. And it's like, okay, this is pretty cute. And I'm sure some of them are really based off of actual sodas and stuff like that. And as you come up against other NPCs, like they have problems, so you're jumping into their mind place to assist them. And that's basically all I can really say about it. I can tell you it has some of the best twists and turns I have ever played in like a narrative game.
Okay.
It goes, man, and it hurts so good.
Damn, not that it hurts so good. Oh
it hurts
no,
so good.
I always get worried when I hear people say that.
It has a phenomenal soundtrack. Like the 2D animation is 10 out of 10. It's stellar. and it you can also tell like the game. It has some really fun mini games as well.
Okay.
And you could definitely tell like someone on this team is like a fan of other games, right? So like
I love that.
You could tell that they're probably fans of like Street Fighter, right? There's like a little Street Fighter 2 mini game.
Okay, I like it. Okay,
that's pretty good. It's like it's the sound effects. It's like the animation that they do. You could really tell like this one character is Ryu. Like he has Ryu stanced up and stuff.
Right.
Like Shoryuken and stuff.
I love it.
It's really cool. You can definitely tell there's inspirations of like Phoenix Wright in there as well, which was a fun segment. Yeah. So it has a lot of these little throwbacks to other games and genres that's really fucking cool, on top of just like this narrative that doesn't seem like it's going anywhere for a while, but when it does not stop. And you're just like, this is getting crazier and crazier and crazier, and you don't know how it's going to tie together. And you're just like, there's a lot of crazy shit happening right now. Where is this going? Like, how does this come together? And when the pieces fill in, whew,
it's like that, huh?
It's like that. I think about that game all day, every day since I've completed it. And every
Asher
time
was talking to me about it, and I was like, let me get with Rob on it. So it's good that yes. you decided to talk about it, because then I was like, oh man, like if Rob tells me he cried, then I'm probably gonna play it.
Please. It's not a very long game either. I 100%ed that game in like, so Steam says I played it.
Did you play it on Steam?
I played it on Steam. I played it on Steam Deck. Steam tells me it was like 12 hours.
Oh wow.
The end game timer is like 8. So
shit.
I don't think
that's
it counts for
still.
when I like paused or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So somewhere between 8 to 12 hours, you will 100% that game. There are missables, and there is no like chapter select at the end. Well, I think that's probably like my only like complaint, and it's a very minor one at that.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely like do your due diligence when completing all the quests in that game. It does unlock like a little epilogue thing at the end.
Okay.
Because if you miss anything, you would have to play through the whole game again.
You'd have to play through the whole game again. Okay.
So keep that in mind. But outside of that, like, phenomenal game. That is another one that is probably going to be high on my game of the year list. And I look forward to more people playing that game.
Hell yeah.
It's a very important game that I think everybody should play. If you like Celeste, you will love this game.
Oh man.
Right? Like, it narratively, like, it hit me on that same level.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
That's saying something right there. Holy
amazing.
Shit. Okay.
Very small development team too. It's I want to say it's like under 10 people, probably like somewhere between 5 to 10 people on that team.
Okay.
Holy shit. It might even be smaller. So it's cool stuff there.
Yeah.
I've been playing more Fire Emblem, getting through. From what Asher tells me, I'm probably about a little over halfway through.
Okay.
That game still seems to be pretty good. Again, like, the story is whatever ultimately.
Right.
But it is definitely some of the best like Fire Emblem gameplay I've had the pleasure of playing, and that's really what I'm coming back to. Like, come back for, right? It's just like the map design in that game, it just keeps getting like better and better. It just like they have very interesting twists and stuff that I'm like, I'm feeling it. I'm using my brain here.
Yeah.
I gotta really think about where I'm placing these units and using like the environments to my advantage and stuff like that. Like, I find the overall design to be very, very good. And
that's awesome.
I'm really in it for a lot of the character like bond moments as well. Like, I really like a lot of this cast in every little bonding segment that I have. I'm just like, this is really good.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is either super cute or really quirky or just like heartfelt or just whatever. Like, I just have a smile on my face, like, for
just have
every
a smile.
single exchange between every character so far, and I'm like, I love this entire cast.
I gotta start mine. That'll probably be another game I try to start this week as well. I've been, after Asher just went in on that shit.
Yeah.
And now you're in it, and and Drew's playing it too. So it's like I'm kind of like, fuck, I gotta get on it,
Get on it. Yeah, I'm gonna try and finish that up this week. I wanted to try and finish before the weekend, but just stuff kept coming up, right?
Yep.
And then today ended up being a lot longer than it should have been as well. So it's like, I didn't really have time, but hopefully I'll knock that out this week and then get back on the One Piece grind as well. I would like to complete both of those games before the next wave of games come out.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, February is going to be pretty nuts, or at least towards the end of February. So Steam Next Fest happened. There was, I want to say that there's like 2 demos that I just want to shout out real quick. One, this came out, I think, a little bit before the Next Fest demo stuff. But I played a little bit of God of Rock. So this is that rhythm fighting game.
Oh yeah. The one I kept seeing advertised during Frosty, right?
Yeah.
Ads for it. Okay.
It's being developed by Modus Games. It's really interesting. It's very much like it's pretty much like a full-on fighting game. So it's you have player 1 and player 2. Like player 1's on the left hand side, player 2's on the right hand side, and the notes coming from both like the left and right. So like if you're on player 1 side, the notes are coming from the left to the right, like towards the center, and then vice versa for player 2. It's coming from the right, going towards the center. And you're playing through the song, you're playing through the tracks, and basically, as long as you hit like a good or perfect on the note, like your character will attack, right? And then if the opponent misses the notes or anything like that, they're taking damage from the attack, right? And then I think if you both hit it at the same time, then it's like they kind of cancel each other out, right? So it's just kind of like a battle of like who's gonna fuck up first, right? Life bars at the top and whatnot. But here's the wild shit, is that there's actually like a super meter, and you input special moves as you're playing the game, right? So characters will have like it will be like quarter circle forward R1 to do like a special, right? So you have to find like a break in the song to like go to your analog stick and do like down forward R1, right? And then it'll trigger like a special move that they'll do that'll consume some of the super gauge, and every character has different special moves that have different effects to them, right? Some can be like we're gonna throw junk notes on the opponent's screen. If they miss it, they take more damage, right? Or some can like obscure their vision or something like that. Some will be like installs, right? So where like you deal more damage, and stuff. Just anything you can think of like a fighting game, it is in there, right? And everybody has like different motions as well. So like there's down motions, there's DP motions, there's half circle back forward for the big supers.
Damn. Okay.
It's wild, dude. There's one character in there that's actually a stance change character.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so you hit L1 and they change between ice stance and fire stance.
I like it.
And then you have like skills that build on top of each other, right? So it's like you do a special move with like ice stance, you cancel into the stance change, and then all the things in the fire stance will be enhanced if they get hit by an attack from ice stance, like stuff like that, right?
That's kind of wild.
It's fucking insane. While you are like going through the rhythm game, and that shit gets hard. Like it starts off simple, and then like the beat picks up, and like you get to the hard segments of the songs. That shit is like, it's like an extreme on like Project Diva. Like that shit is just flying at you. And I'm just like, I don't know what's happening right now.
That sounds insane. That absolutely sounds fucking nuts.
It's so wild. It's such a creative idea. And I would like to play more of it. I only got a chance to play like a couple of matches. Like I went through the tutorial, played a couple of matches just to get a feel for it. Played a couple of the characters. And it comes out in April, so it's right around the corner.
Oh, it's right around the corner. Yeah.
Yep. And I think what they have here is a really good base. Like that demo has probably like 12 songs or so in it.
Are they original songs or
They're original songs. They're original songs.
okay?
There seems to be I think there's an option to like import your own music as well. There's
Oh, really?
definitely an option to like create your own charts. So I definitely think it's gonna lean into like import your own sounds and stuff.
Yeah, I hope so.
Every it has a couple of different stages for the stage select, and then like every stage has like 4 or 5 songs that's tied to that stage.
Nice. Okay.
For the songs that I heard, they're pretty good. They're pretty good songs, gotta say.
Fuck yeah.
So definitely check that out. I think that demo is staying up past the Steam Next Fest stuff, so definitely get your hands on it. I think it's coming to all platforms as well. So definitely keep an eye on that. It's one of the more unique fighting games I've seen.
Yeah.
And it's something we always joked about, like, oh, what if we just make a rhythm?
Yeah, right. Exactly. They fucking did it.
They fucking found them.
You know what's gonna be nuts is when that shit comes out. I'm curious to see. I'm already thinking about like the tournament scene. Like
they ran a side tournament at Frost Day.
I wonder if did they stream it? I gotta find out. Now I gotta
think
know.
Top 4 got streamed. I want to say Top 4 got streamed.
I gotta see that shit.
I should go back and watch that as well.
I have got to see
but
that.
I remember
shit.
walking past the station. I'm just like, people are going in on this.
They're going. Okay, yeah, that's what I want to hear. Hell yeah.
It's good. It's good.
Yes.
And then the other thing that I want to shout out real quick, it is this game called Townseek. So this one was one that I didn't know about until I made a post on Twitter about the Next Fest going live. And one of the I think they do the PR for the game. Basically commented on it, was like, hey, check this game out or whatever, and I was like, let me take a look at this. And I saw the trailer and I really liked the art style for it, so I was like, you know what, let me take a look at this game. So Townseek. Yeah. You've seen this?
Yes. It crossed my path this week.
Yeah,
I was like, this shit looks sick.
It's really cute. Like, it has like that paper storybook style to it. It is. So I thought it was going to be like a city builder kind of game, right? Like you have this airship and you're kind of traveling around to different towns. But it's more like this economics, like management kind of game that has like this overarching story of you're trying to find like these journal entries from I forget his name, but it's like this legendary shark.
It's Sir Reginald Sharkington.
That's it, Sir Reginald Sharkington. And you're trying to find like his journal entries, and there's like a legend about him and everything. And as you're like going around the different towns, you're collecting quests from each town to like raise the reputation. It's almost like a little Animal Crossing mini game of like, hey, I'm going to buy these items from this town here, but the town that's across the sea is in need of these, so I can sell them higher over there, kind of deal, you know. And as you're flying your airship around, you find like these little crates where you find more items, and you're kind of managing that. It seems like a really cool, like, chill game, honestly. There's nothing like as far as I'm aware, there's like no combat or anything in it. It's all kind of story driven, but just like it just has a really cool style, right? Like I find myself just drawn to this loop of like I'm moving my airship around this space and like discovering like what's over here. Okay, this is like a little monument thing. Discovering like a new town over here. Like, okay, what are these NPCs about? I'm curious to see like where more of the story goes, because there's options in there to like talk to town folk, but it's not in the demo, right? So I'm wondering if there's going to be like some really cool storylines around each of these cities that you travel to, because they're all like pretty different in terms of like the races and stuff that you're encountering. Right, like there's one whole village of like slime people, and then there's another village of like the cat folks and the rabbit folks and stuff like that. And I'm sure each nation has like their own history that I would really love to dig into if it's there, right? Yeah. So it's a game that is now on my radar. I'm having a pretty good time with it, not gonna lie. And I like that you can customize your airship. right? They have a bunch of different like airship parts. Where like you can fly different types of flags, right? And one of the flag options is literally like this dog hanging off of a grappling hook. And I'm like,
Well,
like, okay,
the reason is that dog.
yeah.
So that dog is from another game that
right? Okay.
the publisher did, Grapple
Okay.
Dog.
Grapple dog.
And
Okay, yeah, that's what it seemed
yeah,
like.
yeah. So super rare games is they're publishing this game, but they're one of those companies that just kind of specialize in doing physical releases for the digital only games.
Yeah.
So they do the limited run thing.
Yeah.
But that's where that dog is from. They have a game called Grapple Dog. It is on Steam. And it's pretty good. So if anybody wants to check that out, you should check that out too.
Got you. Yeah, because like the description on it is like this was a gift to us, I guess, or something like that. And I was like, okay, this must have been like a collaboration of some sort, but I don't know the source material. But it's very good that this dog is hanging off of this airship.
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
So yeah, it's a cute little game. Definitely recommend people giving it a look-see. It doesn't have an official release date yet. It's just 2023. But I will definitely check it out when it comes out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's really all I've been up to.
Yo, speaking of Next Fest, this just kind of reminded me because I had a couple games that I've downloaded. I don't know if you guys had saw this game called Slave Zero X.
I did.
That shit is fucking sick. Yeah, I think if anybody, and the only reason it stuck out to me is because the people that developed it, I think were the same developers that did Devil Engine, and I didn't think about Devil Engine because that was the game that Drew, I remember, talked about. Like, I don't even know. I feel like that was like early on in the podcast.
Yeah.
I remember Drew talking about fucking Devil Engine. And I was like, damn. I was like, wait a minute, they got another game. That one's sick. So Slave Zero X is like it's like a 2.5D like hack and slash. But the art style and the backgrounds are so like it's so sick. It's so sick. I'm not gonna ramble on about it a lot, but that was another one I was keeping my eye on. That caught me during Next Fest. But like, and I'm still like actively like going through that list of demos because I mean there's
a lot
of shit.
There's like over 300 titles in that whole thing.
There's a lot of shit. So when does it end?
Next
tomorrow,
week,
right?
It might be tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the 13th. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So gotta keep that in mind.
There was another game called there was two games that I wanted to check out before it's over. One is called Radio the Universe.
Nice. Okay.
That seems like a top-down pixel art like action game. It seemed like it had a really killer soundtrack and just has like this really cool like visual aesthetic to it. Definitely recommend like at least looking it up. And then the other game, which I think this one has like a bit more wider appeal. But have you seen Wandering Sword?
No.
Okay, so Wandering Sword is a game developed by one of the Chinese studios. And it is very much an RPG that's taking after the HD 2D style of like an Octopath Traveler. It is
okay.
It is
beautiful. I did see that. I saw that on the list. Yes.
In the
I said the same thing.
The combat
I was like, wait, is this Octopath?
Is almost tactics like, right? So it does take place like you have the random battles, right? But they're all done on like a grid. And it almost reminds me of like maybe like the early Trails games, right? Where it's just like this is might as well be like a tile based game, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
It has like that vibe to it. But I would recommend checking that out. I want to try and play it before the demo goes away.
Hell yeah,
because it looks super sick. So that's another one that's on my plate.
Fuck yeah.
There's so many games.
There's a lot. There's absolutely a lot.
Christopher, are you here? Oh,
he's he's getting ready to talk. I saw his icon. I saw the mute icon go away.
Mute icon went away. Oh.
Maybe. Oh no.
Must have had an issue. He's dead.
You know what? While we're waiting for Drew, did you see that IT game? That IT like simulator they got up there? That game looks fucking crazy, dude.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can. Hi. Hello.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. How are you doing? I see.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk.
I don't want to be on record.
Oh, he doesn't want to be on record. All right.
I have some very not nice things to say, but that's okay.
Oh boy. Let's talk about some nice things, though. What about some video games?
Let's talk about video games. Let's talk about
Yeah.
So I actually played a lot over the past few days. I guess over the past week since since last week, before Frosty. I think it was on the 1st that the Theatrhythm demo dropped.
Yep.
And so I checked that demo out. I mean, I knew I was going to buy Theatrhythm like day one. It's never not going to happen.
Yeah, man.
Like being so musically inclined, like that game is meant for me, and I really wish like every series did that because I'd buy them all day one. Like, now I understand there's some game soundtracks that don't lend themselves to like sound or like rhythm games, but like a lot of them do, and they should do that more. Is more my point. Anyway, so I checked out Theatrhythm Final Bar Line, which I find it very interesting that they no longer call it Final Fantasy Theatrhythm. I just wanted to point that out.
Well, at this point, they're bringing in so many series, right? That it's like it's become more than Final Fantasy.
Yeah, which makes me wonder if like they're gonna merge, because like Dragon Quest had its own Theatrhythm on 3DS.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if they're just going to merge Dragon Quest in at some point, as like a DLC expansion pack or something.
That would be sick.
I mean, they're already doing expansion passes. Like,
I know
they have like $90 worth of DLC out the gate, which is cool and offensive at the same time.
For real.
On the other hand, though, like again, I that kind of model is pretty normal for a rhythm game. I feel like I haven't played a rhythm game that doesn't have like a shit ton of DLC that is just, pay us extra money if you want the song that you really want. It is what it is. I will go ahead and talk about the game, which is really, really good so far. So the demo gives you access to 30 songs. They are locked, though, which I was somewhat annoyed by. So you have to play through the story mode to get like to the songs that you want. None of my favorites were unfortunately part of the demo, but I mean, that's fine. There's still like some really good tracks on there. And I say my favorites, not that there isn't good music on there. I mean, they're just from games that I personally haven't played, like 14 or what was one of the other ones? I think it was 14, 13, 2, 5, and 7. And so like I got a lot of mileage out of like 2, 5, and 7. But like I've never played 13 or 14.
Man,
those are two of the best soundtracks in the entire series.
Yeah, man, you fucking up.
I don't know. Hey, do you think I have time for 14? Because I don't.
No. Hey, listen, stay far away from 14. But
no, join me.
Do not join him. But at least play 13.
I mean, I will. I'm waiting for that inevitable remaster.
Okay, fair.
True.
So it's what you expect. It's Theatrhythm. It's just more of like what's on the 3DS. I think we were all pretty much expecting that. Like we weren't really expecting them to change the wheel.
I mean, they don't really have to.
No, they really don't. Like they have. I mean, a rhythm. How many DJ Max are there, and how many times did they like really change it up?
Yeah,
or DDR or any other rhythm game ever.
It's like you find your style and then you just keep doing
just
that.
keep doing it. Yeah.
You just
And,
add
like,
more music.
honestly, the best quality of life upgrade that they ever did was from like the original to Curtain Call, where they like made you not use the stylus anymore, or
Yeah.
they didn't force you to use the stylus.
Yes.
Like that was the best upgrade ever. And actually, I will say, being able to play Theatrhythm without a slide pad is even better.
Yeah.
So, it runs great on the 3D or on the 3DS on the Switch. It runs great on the Switch. I know that's a concern of mine when it comes to Switch games these days.
Always.
But I didn't really have that much of a doubt that game was going to run well on Switch.
You never know.
You never know, though. And I mean, like, you need a game to run like a rhythm game to run perfectly. As far as like new additions, though, what I really like, and I don't remember this being in Curtain Call, and I played a ton of Curtain Call. Like I put hundreds of hours into Curtain. They added like a new like hold mechanic where like you hold multiple face buttons at a time.
Yeah, I think.
And I feel like that was an Curtain Call, and like that makes that makes like a lot of the map tracks like really fun. Because like then you get like triple holds or quadruple holds, and like you're holding all this, and then like you get like a triple hold, and then like one that you have to tap to the beat or whatever, and like it makes for like a more engaging experience. So like for people who might have thought that the older Theatrhythms were too easy, like they have definitely like upped the difficulty. They actually created a new difficulty for some songs. I think it's called. So you had normal, hard, ultimate. I think it's nightmare or something. And like those are insane. I saw from a trailer like Battle for the Big Bridge on that difficulty, and I was like,
oh yeah,
no,
really,
no,
it's like that.
I can't even do Battle on the Big Bridge on ultimate. Like that song is really hard. Like just no, I can't do it. So I will be buying that game day one. I will be getting a digital version because this is the definition of like the perfect digital game, because you can just boot it up whenever you like want to play a few rhythm tracks, and then hey, you put it away for a bit, and then like maybe you play it like once a day and like do a couple songs. Yeah. And that's cool. Like that's the best part about that game. It's just like if you want to vibe and just relax and like do something while you're listening to some of your favorite Final Fantasy tracks or other Square Enix properties, there you go. Yep. Like I think the other Square, you got like Saga, Mana, Octopath, Nier. I haven't seen Bravely Default on there, which makes me really sad because those were my favorite tracks.
That's part of the DLC package, isn't it?
It has not. The Bravely series has not been named.
Oh, well, so, it will be.
I'm sure it will. I was wondering if there was like a licensing issue with Ravo, because I know Ravo did the tracks to Bravely Default and Bravely Default 2, and the who's the twin-tailed Vocaloid character?
Hatsune Miku. Hatsune Miku.
I can't talk. Hatsune Miku.
There we go.
Yeah. I have only ever heard people say Miku that I forgot what the H word was for so long. But yeah, the guy who works on the Miku games, he did Bravely Second. I can't remember his name.
Rio.
We were talking about him the other day, Rob.
Rio.
Oh yeah, Rio. It's Revo. Revo did Bravely Default 1 and 2, and then Rio did Bravely Second. And so like I thought there might be like a licensing issue, maybe, but I don't know who owns the music in that. Like when you bring in like an outside composer. But then again, like Yasunori Nishiki is also an outside composer. I don't think they work for Square either. So who knows?
I bet it's just future DLC plans for them.
Oh yeah, Okami doesn't work for Square either. Like Yoko Taro, and that's his own company, right? He's just a contractor.
He's just on contract. Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like there's a lot of people that like don't actually work at Square Enix.
Anyway, so yeah, like Theatrhythm, it is what it is. It's like, do you like Theatrhythm? Don't expect like anything like groundbreakingly new, but if you like the old games, you're gonna like this one, and you have like even larger like track list.
Yeah.
So there you go. Let's see what else have I been playing. So as Rob was saying, we had the Steam Indie Fest, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah, the next fest.
Yeah, so we have the next fest going on, and so I downloaded a few Metroidvania demos and tried them out. And I tried out specifically 3. I tried out Gastalt, Steam and Cinder, After Image, and Grim Guardians, which is not a Metroidvania, which I found out. So I'm going to start with the one I like the least, go into the one I like the most.
Okay.
So I'll start with Grim Guardians, which is Inti Creates' take on Castlevania, which is a weird thing to say because Inti Creates also works on Bloodstained, which is actually Castlevania, but so you're playing Grim Guardians, and it takes like a page out of Portrait of Ruin, where you have 2 playable characters that you can hot swap on the fly. You have Shinobu and Maya, and they're like demon hunting sisters. And Shinobu wields a submachine gun, and Maya wields like a sword, and like they have sub weapons that you'll unlock like as you go through the game. So the demo gives you access to the first 2 stages, and the game actually plays more like Rondo of Blood, or like a classic Vania than it does like a Metroidvania, like Symphony of that, which I was a bit surprised. And I'll be honest, like as I was playing it, the game feels like very generic to me.
Really?
Yeah, like and like I hate saying this coming from a Castlevania background. Like I love Castlevania, absolutely.
Yeah.
Classicvania, Metroidvanias, like those games are my bread and butter. And as I'm playing it, now granted, I did play this after like my first pick, so that could have like an influence on like, hey, the game's still good. It's just not as good as this experience I just had.
As you had, right? Exactly.
But like, so my biggest issue really is 95% of the time, I never felt like I didn't need to use Submachine Gun Girl.
Damn, it's like that, huh?
And there's like nothing really stopping you from using that gun.
From using it, right?
You have 100 bullets at any given time, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, she has bullets. Well, that makes sense. But you can just reload them on the fly, and they're unlimited.
Oh, so it doesn't matter then.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so now she can't like there are some enemies like that she can't hit because she can only shoot straight forward, and ducking like there's like a bit of a dead space that she can't reach.
Right.
And like in particular, there might be like some small flying enemies that are kind of a pain to shoot. But like if you're not in a rush, you can just sit across the screen and just jump and shoot until it dies and then move forward.
Seems like
I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, exactly.
Like it feels like the most effective way to approach any situation and stay relatively out of danger.
Right. Just a really easy way to cheese this game.
Yeah. And like, yes, the answer is, well, I could just not use her, but like the game gives me access to it.
Yep.
And it doesn't like really fault me for using her. So
you
and like and you know, maybe the later stages will punish you more for doing that, or like you can't just sit there and like hold down the gun, because like you can't like move and shoot. You can only like stand in one place and shoot, and you can like jump, but like you can only shoot forward and you can't move and shoot. But I mean, like there's not like recovery on the gun. If something gets close to you, you just stop shooting, move backwards, and then start shooting again.
Right?
So, and like the overall like aesthetic is very like, it's almost Toho in a sense, but like Toho from the viewpoint of like somebody in their Best Buy walking through the video game section and just seeing Toho on the shelf and being like, that game just looks anime as fuck. When if you know Toho, that shit gets fucking dark. Well, like this game is just like Toho with like what the generic viewpoint you see on the Best Buy shelf Toho. It's like none of the depth. It's just very generic anime waifu. Like the Dracula of the game is like this cute little succubus like character, and then you have the two like schoolgirl demon hunters.
Of course,
like it's so generic and moe that I'm just like, none of this is like what I want in a Castlevania.
I can't believe Drew used the moe tag.
He did. Is that the first time he's used it before?
I think that's the first time I've ever heard Drew use the word moe.
Yeah, right? Damn.
I mean, that's just how I feel about this game.
No. That
tells me everything I need to know.
You need to know. Right, exactly.
I really wanted to like it. It's just that was how I felt like after I played it. I'm just like, yeah, I'll probably pick it up. But like, I'm not excited for it. I'm not like chomping at the bit for more. Like, there was more of the demo I've done. Like, there are like alternate paths that you can find, and like you find like hidden items or like characters you can rescue like throughout the levels. But like, I didn't feel motivated to go do that.
Right.
So, that's Grim Guardians. The next game I played, and this is my second favorite. I didn't play a whole lot of it because it was towards like the end of my binge, but like the game gets a pass on simply how gorgeous it looks. And that's After Image.
Yeah.
After Image is another Metroidvania that threw like 50 proper nouns at me in the first like 20 seconds. And I was just like, oh no.
Oh, yes.
Oh no. I don't need this. I just want to like kill some things, and like, bro, it just throws a bunch of nonsensical terms at you that you're just like, huh?
Yo,
what was that other game that did the exact same thing to me? Where I was like, I don't know.
Final Fantasy Type Zero.
No, I understand everything that Type Zero threw at me. That game is a masterpiece.
Yeah, okay.
Bro, I still cry at that ending. All right. Anyway, carry on while I figure out what the title of that game was, because it was one that I think he was interested in, but I ended up playing it. But go ahead.
So I didn't play like a lot of it, but it felt good and it looks gorgeous. I would like to put more time into it, but like this was towards like the end of my session. I was getting tired, and like after I read like the 67th like word that I had no idea, and I'm just like, I'm going to sleep. But the game looks so good, and it looks so fluid in motion. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it felt good to play. Mm-hmm. So I intend to put some more time into the demo when I get a chance. But I definitely think like it feels like a solid Metroidvania. I'll have more impressions next week.
Moonscars was the game I was thinking of.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one where you said would feel better as a adventure game?
Was it? No. It wasn't that one. This was the one where I said like the parrying field felt bad, and I had no idea what the fuck was going on in it. Because it also throws a bunch of terms and just throws you into a thing, and I'm just like, I just want to take this sword to hit things.
Yeah. So then we get to my top pick, which is Gastalt, Steam, and Cinder.
Okay.
And bro, let me tell you, I am so excited for this game. It was so good to play. It just felt so good. Like, I haven't played a Metroidvania that just where I had a smile on my face the whole fucking time since like Order of Ecclesia.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Jesus.
That's saying something.
It just felt so good to play. Like jumping felt good. It felt a little wonky at first, and then like your protagonist, whose name I can't remember, it started with an A. she felt a little floaty at first, but after like, I don't know, about 2 minutes, I was like, oh no, it's fine. And like you can control your jump arcs and all that. And so the game is all, or the demo is all through like the first, not even the first area. I don't know. You start pretty much in medias res. Like, God damn it, I need to look up this character's name because it's bothering me. Like I can't talk about the game
and not know her name. Bars.
What's her name?
Start with an A.
Amanda.
No, Ashley.
No. Alethea. I was not gonna fucking get that.
Nobody
no
was.
way I was
not going in that direction at all.
All right. So Alethea, she's like a bounty hunter of sorts.
Uh-huh.
I forget what the game calls them. The game has like its own like unique term for bounty hunters, but she's essentially a bounty. And she's on a job to search for like one of the miners that went like into this citadel. Like, okay, so let me backtrack. Basically, it's a post-apocalyptic game, and they're like everywhere around you is just wasteland, and then there's like this citadel in the center of it all that's like the last bastion of humanity. Mm-hmm. And so like the story starts out as like there was 1,000 years ago, there was a war between like the vanguards, which are like these steampunk warriors, and like these demons from another planet or something. And there was this giant war and ravaged the planet. And then the vanguard established this citadel. And like 1,000 years later, that's where the game picks up. And so there's this area called the Vaults that Alethea is breaking into to go find this miner. And you pretty much are just exploring this whole area as you're looking for the miner, and you're kind of just going through, and like does a pretty good job of teaching you the game's mechanics that you have access to up to that point. Mm-hmm. So you have your main sword attack, which has a 3-hit combo, a la like Mega Man or Zero and X, which you can unlock more. I'll get to that in a minute. And then you have a gun, which has one bullet that shoots out energy and that you can charge by attacking enemies with your sword. And so like those are your primary forms of attack. And there's like there's a dodge roll button and a backdash like any sort of Castlevania game would have. Like there's the quick backdash, and then there's like a forward roll. And the forward roll, like there's a stamina gauge, and the backdash and the forward roll are tied to that. And the forward roll has like a pretty decent amount of recovery. So I can see like as the game progresses, there's probably going to be harder or more challenging fights that you're going to need to use the roll and backdash for, and that you'll have to use them well, otherwise you'll get punished. But like traversing and going through this level just felt really good. Just jumping around, like hitting enemies felt really good, and jumping around and exploring this area felt fun. There's like a little bit of puzzle elements of like having to lower and raise train cars in this vault area to access new areas. And there were like a couple side quests that you could do. Like you had to find the shopkeep's like missing like maintenance tools, or you had to find these lost dogs and like return them to the town that you find later in the level that you have access to, that I imagine is going to be like the hub level for the game. And it feels so good. And as you progress, like as you gain experience from defeating enemies and whatnot, as you would in any, and then you unlock this skill tree, and the skill tree just goes in every freaking different direction.
I like those. I like those kind of skill trees.
Now it's not as big as I'm making it out to be. It's relatively small, but that could just be for the damage. It could get bigger, like once you have access to the full game. But like you can unlock like additional stats. You can unlock like different moves. Like stuff I unlocked was like another round for my like light combo attack. So like I got to do 4 attacks instead of 3. There was another one where I got to do an attack after doing a roll. And and there was another one that was like do an attack after you do a backdash, and like you could see what else was on the skill tree that you would unlock later. Which I saw things like air dash and double jump, and then there was like the spinny move that you could do with the sword, and apparently you unlock a heavy attack at some point. And so there's all these different aspects, and you can kind of build Alethea how you like to.
Right.
So there's just like a lot of customization there, and like the story and the aesthetics are really cool. The sprite work is absolutely gorgeous. Soundtrack's pretty solid. It's like I'm not blown away by it, but like it's not bad. It was just like as a whole package, this game is so good. Like I was blown away. It doesn't really reinvent the wheel per se in terms of Metroidvanias, but like what it does, it just really does so freaking well.
Sometimes that's really all you need, right?
Yeah.
Like we talked about it off stream before, but it's like sometimes like as long as a game can like nail the thing that it's doing, that's kind of all you need, right?
Yeah.
I don't always need something to reinvent the wheel, though. I do appreciate it when they do.
You just need something to rotate that bitch.
You just gotta rotate it nice and smooth, you know. So that's cool that it's firing on like all those cylinders, right?
Yeah.
It's clearly it knows what it wants to be and it is confident about being that thing.
Yes, absolutely. And the demo is still up. I just checked it, and if you haven't checked it out, please do. It works on Steam Deck. I ran it entirely on Steam Deck.
Nice.
Just check out the demo. Please play it. It's really, really fun. And I want more people to be interested because this team is clearly talented, and I want them to be like, hey, our first game was a success. Let's do more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So I really recommend it. And like it was my first pick by and far, like of those demos that I played. 100%.
Nice.
So that was the Steam Next. That was on Monday. And then Tuesday, the Nintendo Direct happened. I just want to briefly touch on that. That was a good Direct.
I want everything.
Solid Direct. I really want Metroid Prime. I have been really holding off on like buying digital copy because like I know that's a game I'm going to want physically. Yeah. And I'm like just like chomping at the bit because I really want to play that game. And I've also seen like the side-by-side comparison shots. That remake looks remastered. But that remaster looks amazing.
It looks insane, right?
It might as well be a remake, honestly.
It's fucking night and day. I was expecting just like, some like, we upshot the graphics a bit.
Exactly, right?
No. Apparently like Retro like rebuilt all the models from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Which is wild to me. So I am absolutely buying that. I can't wait to play it, and I can't wait to like see it on like an HD TV because Metroid Prime the original game is one of my favorite games. It's so good.
I love that game.
What else was announced in the Direct? We got the Octopath demo and the Sea of Stars demo, which I'm going to get to in a minute. And then we got Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance on Switch Online, which I love. I will always be a fan of what's it called? Retaining games, or there's an official term. I can't remember what it is. I'm tired. Game preservation.
Game preservation. There you go.
Yes. I'm always a fan when companies give access to their older games, and I really feel like that should just be a general rule. I understand it's not as black and white as that, and you have licensing and et cetera, but I feel like that practice should be more commonplace. I do hate that I had to spring for like the expansion pass for Switch Online, but
how much
that's
was
fine.
it?
So you can't buy it monthly, which was my initial plan, and that's probably
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, they probably did that, so you can't just be like, "Oh, I want to play this game real quick, sign up for a month, and then unsubscribe."
Yeah.
Or go back down to the cheaper. So the expansion pass for a year is $50, which I mean, to be honest, $50 in a year. That's
in a year. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think PlayStation's like higher tier ones are far more expensive than that.
PlayStation's basic one is more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just got charged for that recently when I should have canceled. Honestly, it's like
Nice.
$60 or 65 or something.
Eee,
Good lord.
eee.
Yeah,
And honestly, like I was on the monthly plan, and apparently, what I pay the monthly plan for like a year is the same as just paying for the expansion pass in a year. And I'm like, well, why not?
Why
yeah,
not?
Uh, so I bought it, and the main reason I bought it is because I wanted to play Super Mario Advance 4 Mario Brothers 3, which had access to all the e-card levels that we got some of them here in the US when the e-reader came out, and then flopped big time. And we didn't even get all the cards. So like we got, I think, about 13 levels, whereas Japan got like 30 to 40.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got all the levels that like Japan got and all of that. So we got pretty much that game as a complete package, which is great because now, well, I guess it was on the Wii U already. I didn't know this, but they apparently released a game on Wii U with stuff.
mm-hmm.
Had no idea. I don't touch my Wii U anymore. So I took this as an opportunity to sit down and play these levels, and I gotta say, it's probably some of the best Mario 3 I've ever played in my life.
Yeah,
These levels are so cool.
Mm-hmm.
You really see a lot of like modern Mario, like New Super Mario Brothers and Mario Maker, and even like Mario 3D World, like really present in this game and in these like E levels, because like you do have all of the like original Super Mario All Stars version of Mario Brothers 3, but then like all these E levels are built from the ground up, and the reason I say is like you see earlier elements of Mario is because these games like borrow elements from other Mario games. Like you get access to like the Super Feather from Super Mario World, and they had to draw like a whole new sprite for Mario and Luigi because they still use like the Super Mario All Stars sprites, but like they gave them like the cape and the flying animation, all that, and all that new. They made it in the E level to where like Mario and Luigi function differently, like they do in Super 2. Like the Japanese version, where like Luigi is floatier and jumps higher, and he slides a lot more. And you can choose to play Mario and Luigi at the time. Mm-hmm. And then there are other aspects where like it borrows things from the USA version of Super Mario 2, where like you can pick up vegetables and other enemies, digging level. It pretty much just grabs like all these other aspects from the other 2D Marios and puts it into the level design all around using Super Mario Brothers 3 as a wrap. And it turns into like some of the coolest level designs I've seen. There was one of my favorite levels was like a level where you flip flop between the Super Feather and the frog suit. Like the level was called like From the Sea to the Sky. And as you're going through these E levels, collectibles, kind of like the green stars and New Super Big Mario, those exist in this game as well. And so like you can just run through the levels like you would any Mario Brothers 3 level, but like if you want to get all these collectibles, you know, the levels really challenge you to explore. And like again, you're going through this level and you have to flip flop between like a challenge using the Super Feather, and then you enter like a water section and you're like, okay, I have to use like the frog suit. And it was really cool, and I found myself that was really cleverly done.
Yeah.
And so if you're itching for like some really good 2D Mario, I definitely recommend these levels. They're really, really cool.
That's dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check those out. You got me very, very interested when you were talking about them earlier.
There were other levels that felt like they were Sonic, like ripped directly from a Sonic game, or like the new Super Mario. It's a level where you have like zero time and you just have to run through it, and so you speed run through the level, but you still have to collect like the collectibles and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So those were cool. And like the final, the Bowser level are they're long and they're just really well thought out and challenging. So again, like and I will say these are probably average, not like super hard or anything, but they're definitely like a bit more demanding than your average Mario.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, if you're craving some really solid 2D Mario, this is absolutely like stuff you haven't played before. Assuming you play everything else that's out there, this is definitely like because it's really really good.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
After that, I did play Sea of Stars, but I want to save that for last. I also played the Octopath 2 demo. And I only played like, so apparently the demo has a time, which I didn't realize, and that's really late.
Like
you can only play
timer?
yeah, you can only play for 3 hours.
Oh damn,
oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So, and I was like, but like, it's the actual game. Well, it's the actual game, the first chapters.
Right.
Kind of like the original demo.
Yep.
And I'm just like, well, if that's the point, like, why are you limiting it to 3 hours? That's dumb.
They don't want people to fucking grind.
I guess. But so I mean, I wasn't really planning on putting a lot of time into the demo anyway, because I knew it would, like you're saying, data carries over. I'm just like, well, I don't want to like play it now and then have to wait almost a month to pick it up now. So like, let me just play it a bit and get a taste for like what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, I probably won't even transfer data. I'll just start over at the beginning. So I loaded up the game. First thing I'm going to say is the soundtrack is even better than the last one, which I can't believe it, but it's even better than the last one. And like, they got vocal tracks like coming on like the world map, and I'm just like, no, you can't do this. Like, it's too good. Like, Yasunori Nishiki needs to be stopped. This shit is so good. Like, so the character to try the demo out as is it's a samurai. I think it's Hiraki.
I don't know the name yet.
Yeah.
It's Hiraki. So I started out with him. His theme fucking blew me away. Like, once you get to the end of his chapter, he's doing like, he's starting on his journey and all that. Bro, this shit is way too good.
Well, actually, I think his name is Hikari. Like
Hikari, that's what it is. Yeah. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. It runs perfectly on Switch. I'll throw that out there. Do not have I think I ordered the PS5 copy, but I may switch to Switch if it's running well.
I was going to say, this game is coming to everything, right?
It is coming to everything.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
I don't think it's coming to PC. Is it coming to PC?
It'll probably come to PC somewhere down the line, but I know like right now it's coming on like most of the consoles. So
no, it's coming to PC as well. Yeah, I just looked at it.
Oh, it is? Okay, yeah. Shit. Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So play
I might
it
get
whatever.
It on Steam. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you just play it on the deck.
Bring it on the deck. Yeah.
But then again, like if it's in like 4K on PS5.
Oh yeah.
Play it on PS5. But so I go through the whole like first chapter. From what the impression that I get is the setup is the first game, which I'm not like too surprised about that.
Yeah,
and that like I'm not surprised, but I'm also like cautious because like I love the original. The original game does have its problems, and a lot of that has to do like with its form of storytelling. Mm-hmm. And I know the team like took those criticisms to heart, and they said that they were going to work on this game. But I don't know how they do that yet so far when it looks like the setup is pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's more like maybe the later chapters start kind of intertwining a little bit more.
Maybe.
Right.
Um,
That's really just the main criticism of the first game, right? Is that
Yep.
things feel way too fragmented, right? Which understandable. You're having
and then
eight
and
different
then you
characters,
have that
but
like exposition dump at the
yeah,
end of the super dungeon,
exactly.
which I can already tell that they already started fixing, because as I'm going through this, like this chapter, I find like a journal
Mm,
to somebody talking about an overarching like sort of storyline happening. I'm like, oh, okay, this reads exactly like that exposition dump at
yeah.
the beginning of the game or at the end of the first game. So like I think they're trying to spread that out a bit more.
Hmm.
Now, if that's like their only solution, that's a bit like lazy-handed, but whatever. You really can't say anything about the final product from just like the first hour and a half of a demo. Um, so I'm cautiously optimistic. Like everything else is 10 out of 10. Like the graphics are gorgeous, the soundtrack's unbelievable. Hikari's story is really solid so far. I really liked his first chapter. One aspect that I thought was really cool, and I don't know if this was in the original game, but when I was doing like the chapter one boss fight, where like it's somebody that has a relation to Hikari, like when you're doing your boost and like you boost all the way, like he actually has like a unique line to say to the guy that he's fighting, and I was like, oh, that's really
Yeah, that's sick.
um and like the boss theme was tight. Um, I will say like they improved on the sprite works even more. So now like when bosses attack, they actually have animations.
Ooh, okay.
We like
I
that.
like
Yeah.
that. I like
Yeah.
that.
So like you actually see like these giant sprites actually move and like they look really good in motion. So uh yeah, no, like everything about the package so far, it feels like it's more of the same with like slight improvements. And so like the new additions are you have a daytime and a nighttime, and like each character has like their own like class skill or class action that they do on like the map screen or like the world map or like the town map or whatever. And like so Hikari is he has Ulbrich's to challenge like random people to a duel. And I don't remember if Ulbrich did that, but whoever he beats in the duel, he gets like an ability that he can add to his roster, and he can have up to 5 abilities at a time. I don't remember if Ulbrich could
Oh
do
no, I don't think that's how Oberix worked. Hmm.
that. So like he gets like a little bit of like mage sort of skill there.
Mhm.
And then but at night, instead of being able to challenge people, he can bribe people for information.
Okay.
And so like and you can switch from day and night on the fly. So and I imagine like that changes from character to character. And so far all the characters like all right, so in the first game I pretty much chose Primrose like right off the rip.
Mm-hmm.
In this game, like I actually sat there for like a good 10 minutes because I'm like, all these characters seem really dope.
Okay.
So like I'm really interested to see where their stories go and like see like because the action skills come into play like in chapter one, why during the day he could challenge people, why at night like why he was bribing people. And so I'm curious to see like how to explain all those class actions.
Right.
There also seems to be a limit break mechanic being added to the game as well. When I was playing Hikari's sort of final boss for the chapter, it introduced like the limit break mechanic. It's a meter that builds up like as you take damage and then you go into a special mode that gives you access to unique abilities that you.
Hmm.
Now I don't know if that's a Hikari specific thing or if that's like a game mechanic specific thing.
I
Who
think
knows?
it's a game mechanic. I remember someone was mentioning to me that there is a whole new overall mechanic that was added, and I think it was like a limit break style system. So that makes sense. That
Mhm.
tracks.
Hell yeah.
So there are definitely some welcome upgrades coming to it, and like just the visual and the audio upgrades are again 10 out of 10 for me. Like I'm very excited for the game. And I know I'm getting a little long winded, so I'm getting to one here, and it's
good?
a doozy. Sea of Stars, that demo dropped.
Yeah.
And holy fuck! Like basically what I said about Gastalt, where like I haven't played a game where I had a smile across my face the entire time I was playing it. That was fucking Sea of Stars, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That game is incredible. It is absolutely brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It is somebody took all my favorite 16-bit RPGs, threw them in a blender, and said, "Here you fucking go." Like you got like first off, do you know about timed hits? Like timed hits from Mario RPG. You take like the sort of like aesthetic and like dual tech combo system from Chrono Trigger. You have like dungeon puzzles like Golden Sun, like bro, all my favorite 16-bit RPGs are just like present in this game, and it's sick.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely gorgeous. Like the sprite work in motion is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I played the backer demo for what feels like 2 years ago at this point. Like it's been a very long time.
It's been a long time since they dropped that for us.
And even back then, like that shit was firing on all cylinders. And to like see where it is now, I mean, it's set to come out this year, right? I think there might even actually be an actual date
August.
August, yeah.
August. I'm very sad because that's a long way away.
Man, it's short for me. I've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
But man, that game just continues to look better and better every time I see it, and I don't know if I'll touch this demo because I'm at the point right where like I just want it, you know.
Just want it, yeah.
And I mean I get like newsletter updates like every other week about that game. But I'm glad that you finally got a chance to get your hands on it, because that game is super fucking special, and I think it's going to be one of the greatest games once it releases.
So sick. It's so sick. Like I was just blown away, and the soundtrack's being done by like Chrono Trigger, Xenogears, Xenoblade, fucking doing everything like music, like God tier music. Like I can't even talk straight. This game is fucking tight. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know what to expect, but like I found myself constantly saying, like, just as I'm going, this is tight. This is so fucking sick. Everything about this is just great.
Was this the first time you've actually like seen the game, or
I've seen like bits and pieces. Like trailers and like directs?
Okay.
But like just to get, and like I'm like, man, that game's pretty. I can't wait to play that. But like getting my hands on it and playing it, I'm just like, everything about this is what I want. Just everything.
Yeah. That's what I want to hear.
Like the first thing that popped in my head when I got my tweet you posted like 6 years ago or something is like something about RPGs, but how's that normal battle? Mm-hmm. And like I heard the normal battle theme for this game, and that was like the first thing I thought of because I'm like, this is a fucking banger. And then like you get to the boss, and that's a banger, and I'm just like, everything's banger, great, and like this might be my game of the year. Mm-hmm. Like it's turned into like my number one like requested title, and this is a game where like we get a new Zelda game, like fuck all that, throw it out the window. I want this game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great year for fucking RPGs, man. And that one is definitely going to be that one that is like, oh, this is clearly a contender. Along with like Eiyuden Chronicles, like those two in this year. Yeah, that's this year as well. That's later this year.
Fuck me, bro.
I keep thinking about both of those games because I backed both of those games, and I sometimes get them confused because I'll get like the newsletter. I'm just like, oh yeah, this, and then I'll see the other one. I'm like, oh yeah, they're both coming out at like the same time, or the same year. So we're eating good as far as like that classic like JRPG feel, you know. Man,
I'm blown away by that. I really am. I couldn't believe it.
I could just like picture Drew just like sitting at his couch, just like looking just down and just like, I can't believe this is real.
For real, right? What a time to be alive.
Well, like I constantly think about Mario RPG a lot. I actually think about like that, Chrono Trigger, and Golden Sun. These are the RPGs that pretty much molded my childhood almost. Right. And to like be able to play a game that reminds me of like and like a game that just feels so. Remember how I was saying like maybe about a month or two ago that I need this game that just hits.
Yep.
That's what this is. This is a game that like not a brand new experience, but it's also just like a warm blanket that makes me like it's a comfort zone that I just really feel, and like I know it's going to be something special and it's going to stay with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like I cannot wait.
Hell yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Honestly. Sick. I have no other words to add to that.
I mean, really, what can you say though? You know, I mean, like, the game fucking speaks for itself.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, it's at this point, it's like let's just wait and get it in our hands. You know, I mean, I can't. I'm very much like you, where like I backed the game, I played the demo, and now I was just like, okay, now I wait. Yeah. I just kind of waited. I did my little. They hit me up like a few months ago to put my name in the crypt. So
the crypt. I remember that.
You know, so I did mine, and I was like, all right, well now I just sit here and wait. You know,
I think I did a JSB collective crypt.
That's what I was gonna do. But then I was like, man, if somebody else does some shit like this, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't do it then.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't do it, because then it would have been like two graves in there for PSP. And I'm like, what a fucking waste.
Oh man.
That's funny. But yeah, I'm really stoked. I'm really stoked for this fucking game, man. Like, good God.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm really curious about to see how this ties into the Messenger, because I don't think a lot of people realize that this takes place in the same universe as the Messenger. So I'm really kind of curious. Yeah. They talked about it, but I'm curious to see like what the ties are. So
I should go and play the Messenger.
What? Oh my God, dude! You gotta play that. It's a good one.
That is like a true core game.
Yes, absolutely. And now not only just to say it's a good game, but you know, maybe you'll be able to appreciate whatever context is thrown in to Sea of Stars.
For sure.
Regarding it, you know, so
the lore master, you must know.
There you go. Oh man, that's sick. So sick.
Yeah. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, I think I was saving Sea of Stars for. So I have been playing some Fire Emblem. Okay, no, that's not true. I haven't.
Don't lie.
Don't lie to us.
I've been meaning to, but like I've been playing a lot of BB Tag, and then all these demos came out.
I need to talk to you about my Lord and Savior, Yunaka.
Understandable.
Hiya, Papaya. Look, I already. I'm actually about to meet her because I started that map and she's at like the very beginning of the cuts.
So good. Hiya, Papaya. All right. Let's wrap up. Let's get out of here. My nose is turning into a faucet.
He's leaking.
I'm leaking. Drew, sign off for us.
You can find me on Twitter at JSB Total Video Game Opinions and BB Tag Frustrations.
Hell yeah, the two things I need in life. Lewis.
Oh my God. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Soft and Wet FL. Same on the Instagram. I'm still in retweet bot mode right now. But you know, if I see the occasional indie game come up or a really cool Kickstarter, I do try to make an effort to throw that out there. So just you know, just keep an eye out.
For sure. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Zenosuke, Znosuke, where I also am a retweet bot, but I do talk about video games from time to time. I'll be talking more about anime in the coming future. Definitely follow at JaxSavageBase for all of the projects that we are going to be working on in the coming months. Follow at JSB Anime to follow the anime podcast. If you are listening to this now, then that means the video cast is live on YouTube as well as on Spotify and in all of the other places that you will find the podcast in audio form. So yeah, stay tuned for more stuff because I feel like we have a lot of projects that are finally coming to fruition, I should say.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. This is a very exciting time. Oh,
absolutely.
So with that, let's get out of here. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being here. And we will talk to y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bro, how is this tournament just now ending? Also, bye.